Hey, welcome to the Strong Roots podcast. My name is Kristin Hill, and we are so excited that you're tuning in today. Our prayer is that you would move one step closer to Jesus through this series. So go ahead and check out this next episode. Welcome to the Strong Roots podcast. I'm here with Autumn again, and today we're going to be talking about forgiving people before they hurt you. And this is a huge one, and I'm so excited to speak to you because you are so good at forgiving people, and I've seen you do it in your past, and I see you doing it presently. So I'm so excited for our viewers to hear how God has worked in you through this way. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so question 1. In a friendship, how do you handle offenses?
Okay. I've recently put into practice a new way of handling offenses because my old way wasn't working. That's back when I wouldn't be able to forgive and I would hold on to hurt. And the first thing I started doing was kind of reading some scripture. Yeah. And I came across, and what kind of stuck into my mind was James 1:19. And just kind of paraphrasing, it says, "You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry." Yes. And for the longest time, I was stuck on that, slow to get angry. How do you not get angry? Someone hurt you.
Right.
I can't get past that. I get angry easily. I'm good at it. Yeah. So I was really, really stuck on that. And then the scripture kept coming up in my mind, kept coming across things I was reading and doing. And it's the first part is what you have to pay attention to. You have to be slow to speak. You have to be quick to listen.
That's good.
So you have to actually first listen to the person. Sometimes people are speaking to you, or after they speak to you, you're putting it in your own mind of how they said it and what they said. And it's listen to what they actually said. That's not what they said, maybe.
Yes.
And then be slow to speak. I used to react and answer back and want to say my part and get my point across right away. Almost this is how we're going to figure it out. If we just go back and forth, we're going to figure it out. And it's not. It's that slow to speak part. So I give myself time. I have sometimes a few days of time.
Yes.
I handle it by allowing myself that time to really, like I said, be slow to speak, to get the right words, to really process kind of what the situation is and stuff. So that way I can reach forgiveness. Oh. So then when I do come to somebody, I'm not in that I need to react stage. I'm in that I've already thought about this. And I want us to get past this. I want us to fix this. I want us to love each other and not fight and not back and forth, because that's going to get us nowhere.
Right.
So I just really keep that scripture in mind, and not just the last part, not just the don't get angry part. Yeah. You have to first listen and then be slow to respond, not just say the first thing that comes to mind, because in an offensive situation, the first thing that comes to mind is probably not going to be nice. You can't scream at somebody, "I forgive you," and it come across the same way, or
right.
"I love you," but it's not really in the right tone or something.
Yeah.
So that's just really my new way of handling offenses, is to take time before I react back, so that way I can get to that slow to be angry.
That's so good. So are you more likely to stay quiet or confront the issue if you have been hurt?
I'd say it's both. I wouldn't say it's just stay quiet, where I'm just going to let it stay in my mind and I'm not going to ever address it, because I've done that too, and that doesn't help at all. That's going to hinder your relationship, and that's going to hinder you as a person. It makes you almost less likely to go out and want to form relationships and want to approach people, because you have that hindrance inside you. So I would say it's kind of both. I'm going to stay quiet at first. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to think about my response. I'm going to come in a loving, approaching way to somebody then to speak about it.
I love it. So how does God's stance on forgiveness reflect how we should forgive others?
God's stance on forgiveness, in my eyes, is always and for everyone.
Yes.
So it's not, I'm going to forgive my sister because she's my sister. I'm going to forgive my sister because she's somebody, and that's why I need to forgive her. I'm going to forgive my husband because he's somebody, and that's why I need to forgive him. So just everybody, no matter what. Not that all forgiveness is going to come in one day. Some of the harder offenses that you have, some of the deeper situations, almost your more meaningful relationships, your close ones. It might take more time and stuff, but it's still, God is going to direct you to always forgive.
So how do you make that choice every day to forgive?
think you make that choice by remembering what happens when you do forgive.
Yeah.
Because you make the choice to forgive and you see the love in that relationship then. You see the trusting growing. You see it becoming a closer bond. Whereas when you sit and you think about, times when you've waited, too long and you've held a grudge and you haven't, you can see what that did. Mm-hmm. What that did not only to the relationship, but to yourself.
Right.
You hurt yourself.
Right.
And I just don't want to wake up every day choosing to hurt myself. I don't want anybody to wake up every day choosing that.
Absolutely. And do you feel like when you are forgiving, do you feel like you take the time? Does it make you remember Jesus? I mean, is that something that when we're forgiving, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's messy, sometimes, like you said, it takes time.
Right.
But does it draw you closer to Jesus?
Absolutely. Because you want to be forgiven.
Yes.
Not just by your friendships and your relationships and everything, but you want to remember and think about how you've been forgiven.
Yes.
So it absolutely draws you closer, especially if you're trying to come across ways of forgiveness or deal with it by doing something like praying, by doing something like reading a devotion on it, like doing a Bible plan about it or something. Because then when you are reading that plan, it's like Jesus gave you the words that you needed to hear. Mm-hmm. You're doing nothing but coming closer.
Absolutely. So good. So, how does holding on to unforgiveness and bitterness from previous friendships affect your current ones?
I think it affects your current ones because first it affects you as a person.
Yes.
When you are bitter and you have unforgiveness inside you, you cannot be any type of person that you want to be. Mm-hmm. You cannot be that positive person. Mm-hmm. You cannot be an encouraging person. Mm-hmm. You're going to be, down and probably cause, health issues. Stress definitely leads to worsening health issues, So you're not going to be that type of person you want to be. So having that bitterness inside you is going to poison your other relationships. Yes. Taking it along, it almost makes it harder to grow it doesn't almost, it does. It definitely does make it harder to grow your trust with a different person. Yes. If I'm currently struggling with trusting because someone else hurt me and I'm holding that and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, last time I trusted so-and-so, this happened. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to I'm going to text with this person, but I'm not going to go and hang out with them because I don't want the same thing to happen. That's affecting that relationship. That's hindering that relationship from growing further. And it could be you really needed that relationship with that person or that person really needed you and the type of person that you could be and that you were designed to be.
Yeah. What's the lie we believe? I think so many people listening don't believe that. What you said is true, 100%. But I think a lot of us are living with unforgiveness. A lot of us are choosing to hold on to the hurt. What is the lie we're believing? Do we think it's protecting me? What's the lie that you used to believe when you held on to unforgiveness? I
think that what I used to believe when I held on to it was that was going to make the person learn. Ooh. If I'm mad and upset, they're going to see it, and then it's going to change them. Mm-hmm. But you're not changing anybody in a positive way through a negative action.
Oh, amen.
There's no way. Mm-hmm. If I'm in a positive way of acknowledging the hurt, what you said really hurt me last night, but I still got up today. I still got my stuff done. I still want to hang out with you. I want to talk to you. Yes. Then that positive is going to grow inside that person. Mm-hmm. But when you come at someone with a negative tone, a negative way, it's going to have a negative reaction. Yep. They're not going to change. They're not going to learn from it. So you have to stop believing that by holding on to that unforgiveness, they're going to change or something.
That's so good. Because we're not in control.
Right.
I've watched so many people have unforgiveness and hatred, and that person's being just fine. And like you said, the only person it's hurting is yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's such a good point. And I hope that so many people watching are set free. That they let go of that and just start choosing forgiveness.
Because it heals you.
Yes.
It heals you first. And then it's going to affect your other relationships. And maybe not, might not going to affect that relationship where the hurt came from first. Mm-hmm. I think it will creep that way because it does spread out everywhere. Mm-hmm. But what it's going to first do is you. Mm-hmm. And then other relationships and not hinder those. And then slowly, it could, if you keep working at it, it will definitely get to that hurt.
Because what are we doing? We're putting our trust in God.
Exactly.
Because that is what's going to, like you said, trickle everywhere. We're saying, all right, I trust you.
Yep.
I trust that your ways are better than my ways. I trust that you can handle this person and do whatever you want. And I'm giving you full control.
Yeah.
And when we release that, he's like, all right, thank you.
You trust that that God's going to get you through it.
Yes.
Instead
So
of thinking
good.
that you're not going to get through because of whatever the situation may be.
So true. So this is kind of a random question, but the whole series is called Forgiving People Before They Hurt You, right? This whole episode is that. So how do you do that? Like, I want to learn from you. How do you choose every day, all right, I'm going to forgive the people that are going to hurt me in the future?
Right. I have to acknowledge it. I used to believe I'm going to control things so it goes perfectly.
Yep.
Because I just know, like, come on, just let me make it all work this way. It's almost like going back to when you're a child and you're playing with dolls and you're going to make the doll say this and the other doll say this and it all goes along and it's great. But in the real world, you can't do that. And it doesn't work anyways because I'm not perfect, so I can't make the situation perfect. So I think I have to acknowledge I am going to get hurt. I am going to sometimes walk out of life group and not like what someone said. I am going to have conversations with my friend or my sister or my parents, my mom, my husband, my dad, and I'm not going to have agreed with what they said, maybe took it offensively and stuff. And almost by being prepared for, hey, this might happen or this is going to happen at some point, you're better able to deal with it when it does happen. So then when it does, you can, again, have empathy, you know. I don't think anybody's purposely trying to attend life group to get Autumn mad.
Right.
Like, I have to remind myself that sometimes.
Yes.
I think sometimes, too, just like I've had a conversation and my words haven't came out the way I wanted them to come out. And I've left being like, I don't think I said that right to her.
Right.
Like, I hope it didn't offend her. That might have happened, too, when I've left and I've been offended. The other person might have been like, I didn't say that right, you know? But their goal wasn't to set out to hurt you that night, you know, through what they said or did. So you have to have empathy for them that, you know, that's just not what they were trying to do.
Yeah. And something that you said stood out to me was, life's not all about us.
Right.
I feel like it's when we believe the lie, like, it's all about me.
Yeah.
Like, and how people treat me, it's easy to then find offense everywhere.
Exactly. To believe they did that to me, they did that to me, they did that to me. And then it's like, oh, poor me over here.
Yes.
No. They were trying to express something. I took it the wrong way. They were trying to express something. I took it the wrong way.
Yeah. When we're internally focused, man, we get into this pit and we get into unforgiveness. But when we're externally focused, when our eyes are focused on Jesus and God, like you're saying, there's so much more grace. There's so much more that you can extend, and you give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And how much better is living that life? Have you, like, following Jesus, how has this totally transformed the way you forgive people?
Well, just by following Jesus and not being focused on myself, I've been able to have less offenses.
Yes.
You know, just kind of like brush that off. Like
Yes.
I'm not offended as easily as I used to be.
That's amazing.
Which is great for me and great for everybody else. So it actually has a win-win. You know, really great for my children and my husband. And everyone has to be around me every day to not be so easily offended. So I think that's just a good way and a big way that things have changed since following Jesus.
And I've seen your transformation. I feel like you are light up a room. There's so much more light coming from you. There's so much more love you have to give.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible.
Yeah. Because unforgiveness and bitterness is going to first steal your joy.
Oh.
Yours.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're not going to have that energy that, you want to come from you.
Absolutely. So good. So, all right, we might have touched a little bit on this, but what are practical ways you can practice forgiveness in your friendships?
So you can, I think that you can talk to somebody in a loving way. Like we stated earlier, I said, I'm going to wait. I'm going to give myself time. I'm going to really think about it and stuff. I'm not going to react right away because your react right away is not going to be your best. But then you do have to say something. And that can almost be like the uncomfortable situation of it all. Not even when you were getting offended. It's almost more uncomfortable to have to go to someone and be like, I really need to tell you, my feelings were hurt the other day. Yes. But I want to make sure that I didn't hurt your feelings, and I really want to talk to you and kind of bring up that conversation. And that's just a practical way, I think, to reach that forgiveness is by, Don't just stay over here with it. Talk to each other. I think another big thing that we talk about down here at church is that your feelings are not facts.
Yes.
So the way you may be feeling right that moment, that is not a fact. That is not, validate everything. That is not like, because you feel that way, you should do this or that. No.
Right.
You need to
That's
wait and
powerful.
see. That's such a good thing to think about. Like,
Yes.
that is not a fact.
Yes. So good. So, last question, okay? Who in your life are you choosing to forgive on the daily?
I think that every single day, I'm choosing to forgive the people closest to me.
Me too.
The people that I'm going to interact with every single day, I have to forgive them. Your children can do something and get you so upset, and I got 4, so times 4 I'm upset. I just need to forgive them.
Yes.
I just really need to forgive. They're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
They are human. Not only are they children and going to make mistakes because they're learning, but they're human.
Right.
My husband, you have to interact with your husband every single day.
Yes.
And I'm going to choose to forgive him every single day. Maybe not right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But by doing that and by forgiving him every single day, it is going to grow the relationship. It is going to help me. It's going to help them. It's going to help all that, we want to do and we want to be as a family.
Yes.
And then even just, your parents and your siblings, people that you maybe work with every single day, I'm going to choose to forgive all these people close to me. So that way, as I am interacting with these people on the daily, it's not affecting my relationships. It's not affecting, it's not hurting our relationships.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much. I just learned so much, and I'm excited for you guys to apply this to your life. We want to challenge you. Who is somebody close to you that you need to forgive today? And we want you to go, whether you journal, whether you pray, but give that person to God and choose to forgive the people closest to you every day, because watch and see your joy increase when you trust God in this way. Thank you again for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow us on our other social media platforms. We don't want you to miss out on any future content. Thank you so much again, guys. I hope you have a great day. And I want you to know I am personally praying that your roots stay strong.